I watched 28 years later and it was nothing like I expected. What were those alpha zombies? What was that skeleton temple? And who the heck is Jimmy? I'm gonna break it all down for you folks, but this needs to be said. This is gonna be a very difficult movie to talk about, and it's gonna be an even harder movie to digest for a lot of people. Your enjoyment of this film will come down to a couple things. If you like a movie with coherent pacing, maybe a predictable footing, and an even plot with things explained, you might like the first 40 minutes of this movie. If you like unpredictable, sometimes uneven toned, with multiple ideas and just a different kind of experience in the movie theater, if you're done with the predictable formulaic films that we get, all the generic shit we get in Hollywood, and you want something that maybe strays into the unpredictable and just something you won't expect, then you might really like this movie. Look, I am one of those people that want something different. So I did enjoy this film, but it needs to be said, I had a very different expectation of what this movie was going to be. That first 28 years later trailer that dropped last year, that teaser trailer, is one of the best trailers of all time. And I thought I knew what this movie was going to be about, all right? It was so different than what I expected, y'all. And not in a way that is disappointing me and making me like, oh my God, this is so much shit. This is so much shittier than what I had in mind. But in a way that is like shell shock almost. Like, I don't even know what I just witnessed. I thought this movie was going to be a movie about zombies that are attacking this island community from the outside, but in the community there's like a religious zealot cult, all right, led by Ralph Fiennes, all right, with this skull temple that's within the island itself that a lot of these extremist worshippers actually build to worship death, all right. And I thought Jimmy would be maybe a code name for a messiah or the leader or this god that they like. Maybe Jimmy is like the baby that they're worshiping as well, or maybe they want to sacrifice that baby to God so that they'll be saved by the zombies. I thought that is really where we were heading with this, y'all. I was so wrong. I couldn't be more wrong even if I tried. I'm wrong about a lot of things, y'all. I couldn't be more wrong about this. Now, there is some essence of hyper-religious zealotry in this film. Don't get me wrong. But it's nothing like I expected, all right? This is the weirdest movie of the year, by far. Considering it's like a zombie movie, you would think, okay, this is gonna be a story like Last of Us or maybe something like that. No. It's got similar scenery to Last of Us, but no, something completely different. I can't go into this movie without talking spoilers, so I'm talking spoilers now. This is a spoiler alert. If you haven't seen this movie, just know I liked it. I liked the movie a lot. It's just not anything like you expect, and sometimes it'll feel like it's 2-3 different movies put into one. If you don't like that, you're probably not gonna like this film, all right? But I need to talk spoilers to really flesh my ideas out here, okay? First of all, we got the alpha zombies, which might be one of the most terrifying zombies of all time, okay? These creatures don't fuck around. They are jacked, massive, almost superhuman levels of strength we're talking about here, all right? When you see them, basically how it's explained is the rage virus has evolved and mutated to the point where it can actually build muscle mass in people like a steroid. It makes them Hulk level beings, right? No, well, not, you know what I mean. Jacked and fast and physically just superior to all the other zombies to the point where they can lead them. And the other zombies respect them. It's like the virus itself has evolved to the point where it can place a hierarchy of systems into these zombies. It's fucking crazy. It reminds me a lot of that Zack Snyder or Dave Bautista zombie movie that was kind of shit, to be honest, but the hierarchy reminds me a bit of that. And I had to ask myself, okay, these alphas are also fucking tall. They're like 7 foot or some shit, right? So does this virus mutate and steroid up the humans that are already physically tall? Or does it make them tall by also altering their bones? Because if that's the case, we are fucked. If it can mutate and choose beings, like it's a sentient virus that can choose beings and build them up, oh shit, we're screwed. And there are 2 alphas in this movie. There's the one we see in the second half of the movie that does most of the attacking we see at the end. And he's scary. He's scary as hell. There's a train scene where he's coming for our main characters, and bro, I don't want to be in a fight with this man. All right, even someone like me with enough coke, I don't think I stand a chance, unless I had the tranquilizers that Ralph Fiennes had. But then there's the one who you barely see. He's like a silhouette in most of his scenes, and he's in the first half, which is the best part of the movie in my opinion. When he arrives, you know that scene in this trailer where you see a bunch of zombies near a tree and a lot of them are squirming and running, and he's the only one that's silent, the tall guy? This dude roars and all the zombies start chasing under his command. It is fucking scary, and he just stands there and waits. He just waits, waiting and sensing when the humans are fleeing so he can chase after them. And a bunch of crows surround him and also go in the direction that he's running. It's like all the creatures, all the animals in the vicinity that maybe are infected respond to him. This dude is like the king of the zombies. And there's a scene where they have to run back to their base, and the tide is almost taken over the path that they're running through. And it's nighttime. The stars, the aurora borealis are all in the fucking night. It looks beautiful. And they're running, and this brother is behind them sprinting, and he's fast as fuck. He runs all the way from a goddamn hill, half mountain-sized hill, down through the forest, down to the beach, after them, and he nearly catches up to them before the guards of the gate start shooting fire arrows into him. It's the best sequence in the film. It's badass. It's fucking awesome. After that, Aaron Taylor Johnson is just not in the film. All right, it's revealed that he's having an affair with another woman, and his son gets pissed off, and the fact that their mom is dying and Aaron Taylor Johnson is doing this, the son's done and decides to leave the island with his mom to go get her medical help from Ralph Fiennes, who he hears this guy's a doctor living away from the island in the mainland. And the story follows this guy. It really is a coming of age story of this boy. That's gonna piss off a lot of people, because a lot of people are gonna be like, what the hell happened to my boy Aaron Taylor Johnson? And honestly, this portion of it was spoiled for me. I'll be real. That's why I can't give it much of an objective review about my experience of this film, because I knew that Aaron Taylor Johnson wasn't going to be in like the second half of this movie, because I saw a review where someone said this. So I was mentally preparing myself for that fact. So maybe that helped my enjoyment of this film, because I did enjoy the film. But a lot of people are going to be thrown off by this. And look, I like Aaron Taylor Johnson's character in this movie, but I think the boy could carry this movie on his shoulders, but you need to make that character really, really good, and we're going to get to that. See, there's a sequence of male leads that we think are going to be the heroes of the story. We think it's going to be him, you know, the father figure. It's going to be like Last of Us type shit. No, he's gone for the movie. He doesn't die. I thought he was going to get killed. No, he's just not there. He comes to the fold, this soldier, to help them get to their journey, get to where they're supposed to go. And you think, okay, he's going to be the new male lead. No, he gets offed and killed, his head torn up by an alpha zombie, like 15 minutes in. Then, okay, Ralph Fiennes is the only guy left, and Ralph Fiennes is not the villain like I thought he was. He's helping the boy and his mom, but he's only in the movie for 15 minutes as well, and then we never hear from him or see him again. It really is him and his mom have the most screen time, and they're not bad. I love Jodie Comer. I think if you don't know, Jodie Comer was like my number one pick to be Susan Storm in Fantastic Four, and I'm really disappointed she didn't get. I like Vanessa Kirby. I just wanted her because she's so good. And this casting, man, I'll be real. I like the Human Torch and the Thing casting, but my God, Hollywood, I'm begging you, stop casting Pedro Pascal and Austin Butler in every fucking role now. I literally saw 3 trailers in a row for this where these two were literally in most of the trailers. I'm like, why are they in every movie? I might make a whole video on Hollywood just not giving roles to other people. Pedro is in like 10 movies this year. Actually, even more, including a show. What the hell? Regardless, mini rant aside, this guy's good. This kid is good. He's able to carry the emotional work on his shoulders. I really, really liked his character. I liked him and his mom. And it is kind of sad what happens at the end, and you wonder why the hell it happened, because it kind of, on the surface, it makes this journey seem pointless. But when you really think about it, it doesn't. This is all about this kid's arc. And I really liked his arc. The only problem is there are crazy concepts that are introduced in this film that are barely touched on. And his arc is the reason why, because they're only focused on him and his journey. And the concepts are, okay, the skeleton temple, cool. It's an homage to death. It's paying respects to people, memento mori, all that shit, right? The problem is, most of it is set up for the sequel, which we know the title to, like the Skeleton Temple or some shit like that, right? So it's explained, but it's not, because we know we have to get to it. And Ralph Fiennes' character is like literally left in the film because we know we're going to see him again in the sequel. This is the problem with movies that rely on setup for another film. It kind of ruins the fucking experience of the first movie. Jodie Comer dies. She dies of cancer, right? And that's fine. I enjoyed what that character meant to the son. But there is a whole arc with a baby. There is a scene where a zombie woman is pregnant. Okay, a zombie, like a rage virus infected person is pregnant, a woman in a train. Jodie Comer's character, for some reason, decides to walk into this train normally, go to the zombie woman, hold her hands, and help her push the baby out. And I'm wondering, okay, why? Why did this happen? First of all, a rage virus woman getting pregnant, that's a big deal in this universe, right? But why did Jodie Comer do this? Why did she just act like this wasn't a big deal? She just walked up to it like it's nothing. See, this is a thing that movies do nowadays, where it doesn't, like, they'll make characters do something that doesn't make any sense. That character would never do that realistically, but they do, and it takes you out of the film. This was that moment for me. It was almost laughable the way it was happening. I had to ask myself, why did Jodie Comer do this? Okay, and this scene kind of introduces the fact that there's still some humanity left in the rage virus infected people. Not just because of the fact that they're able to birth a human that's not infected, but the fact that this rage virus woman held Jodie Comer's hands and was like a normal woman giving birth for those 10 seconds. And right after the baby's born, she goes right back to attacking them. So that shows you the maternal instinct, the maternal love overrid the rage virus, which is a huge thing. It shows that there's still humanity left, and the alpha zombie saw the woman the woman dies, right? She gets shot, and this alpha zombie sees it, and he reacts like a husband would if he found his wife dead. So it shows that there is communal relationships between the zombies. It's introducing all these new concepts, but they're not fleshed out enough. That you have a whole ass baby here that's not infected, and you just saw what happened with those infected, and you don't flesh it out because you're just focusing on this one story, but all this other shit's happening, and you're just kind of forced to be like, oh, be okay with it. Be like, okay, that just happened. Not a big deal or anything. And when you realize what the purpose of this is, the mom and the baby, two really important characters on their own, are literally kind of used for him. The mom dies to build his character up and build his arc up. The baby is there, but not to introduce this new lore. No, it's more so another growth thing for him. He gives the baby to his town, and then he leaves to go off on his own. And those decisions themselves need development. His decision to leave the island in the first place with his mom, right after, the day after being on a really scary hunt with his dad, I didn't buy that, to be honest. I think there could have been more time between those two events happening. Because yes, he did see his dad cheating on his mom, and you think, okay, that coupled with the fact that he thinks his mom is dying could be enough, but he didn't know how much she was dying. He didn't know she had cancer. He didn't know the true depth of it. And he still had fear from the day before. So I feel like that decision was too fast. Why? Because they're trying to they're trying to bring a whole other storyline into the film. And his decision to go to the town and then not return, I feel like that might have needed a bit more development. And what could have saved it is him having one more scene with Aaron Taylor Johnson. They don't ever meet again after the first act. And I think they should have one more time before he fled. I think that could have really helped it. And this movie kind of retcons 28 Weeks Later. I really like that movie. It's a shame. These two characters, I'm pretty sure they're immune to the virus. So I guess humanity never used them to create a cure. That's what we're led to believe. And Paris got taken in 28 Weeks Later, but in this movie, it didn't. I don't know. I don't think this movie's canon, or they just ignored it completely. And maybe the baby's connected to them. Maybe the virus did evolve to overtake them, and she still was able, because of her genetics or whatever, she was able to give birth to a normal baby. Maybe that's how it's explained. I don't know. I don't think the directors care about 28 Weeks Later, which sucks because I really like that movie. But then we get Jimmy. Now, people thought Jimmy, when they saw the word Jimmy in the trailer, they thought, okay, could this be Jim from 28 Days Later? And I never thought this was the case. I was like, people are coping hard. They're not bringing back any of those characters into this. Maybe in the next few movies, but not this. I knew it. This is a new character. This is basically the child in the opening scene who's the son of this priest, or maybe not the son, he called him father because he's a priest, but this dude's an insane person. He's a religious zealot who wants his entire community to be infected so they can ascend into the heavens or some shit, I don't know. So he's perfectly willing to let everyone die around him for this belief. And the child is like, Father, why have you forsaken me? As he escapes this. And this kid eventually grows up to be the gang leader known as Jimmy. All right, basically, he has a gang of killers that just like assassinate zombies on the go. Now, we don't know much about them besides the fact that they're eccentric, Teletubby watching ninjas who are really weird. But That's it. And they're also acrobats with spears, and they're martial arts experts. It's fun. By the way, this was the biggest tonal shift in the movie, because it almost became a comedy at the end. So what we know about Jimmy is, from his traumatic experiences as a kid, he kept the faith, the Christian faith that he grew up with. He kept the cult of personality that his father had and adopted it as a gang leader, but he dropped the whole, oh, the zombies are great, we're worshiping them, let them infect us. No, he's killing zombies. He wants to off them. So he might have resentment towards figures who love zombies and is killing everything related to zombies now. But did he drop the zealotry? Because we see him put his stamp on buildings, on bodies as punishment, I guess, carving his name into people. Like, this is a cult around him. So a lot of people online are comparing him to the main character from Clockwork Orange in that kind of cult-like sense. And if that's the case, if he has a personality like that, which he seems to have kind of an unhinged, eccentric personality, this could be the most terrifying villain in like zombie movie history. But he's based on this guy, who is apparently a popular British media personality, I don't know. Regardless, he's played by him who played the main vampire villain in Sinners, which is pretty awesome. So I'm excited to see what they do with this gang of killers. I wish that scene, honestly, part of me wishes that scene wasn't in this film, because it's such a tonal shift that it's going to be jarring for audiences. This does feel like two movies and half of a third movie put into one. And that's going to be a really, that's going to be an issue for a lot of people, yo. I truly think so. So I enjoyed this movie because I honestly appreciate something different at this point. But I do think the idea of setup, because this is a trilogy and the second movie's already on its way, and I bet the third movie's already written. The setup is killing movies nowadays, guys. It is. Setup is really ruining what a lot of films could be. I believe a movie should be able to work as a standalone film, even if it is part of a franchise. Those tend to be the best kinds of movies, in my opinion. All right? So I enjoyed 28 Years Later. I really did. It's got issues. It feels like different tonal shifts and pacing and all this stuff. It can be jarring. But it's one of those movies that once you think about it more and more, for me anyways, the more and more I think about it, and that's the thing. This is one of the few movies this year I've seen that's gotten me to think about it a lot and what I feel about it more than anything else. All the other movies I've seen, a lot of these movies tend to be forgettable. But this one, forgettable is not the word I would choose. Jarring is. Jarring. So it's almost like you get whiplash from some of the shit you see. So those are my thoughts on 28 Years Later. I would recommend it. It's an experience. A weird one, that's for sure. All right, those are my thoughts on that. If you want to know what the scariest zombie virus of all time is, check out my video on the Crossed over here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.